This is a backpegging tool. We're not quite sure why it's called a backpegging tool, except for the fact that there are pegs. It was taught to us by an old toolmaker from England. This is basically a prototype tool for developing a special sinker eye that goes inside of a lead mold. Normally 2 sinker eyes will be put inside the lead mold, but they would always fall in, so therefore we came up with this wire form for him so he can just set it in there and it balances in there. This is the finished product, and this backpegging tool is how we developed it. And this is probably the third one that I made until I actually got it developed. I drill holes in just an old plate of steel using the digital readout in the mill. And I have 2 pegs on either side here that basically is just enough room for the wire to sit in there without any binding. I cut this piece of wire to really whatever length I want because, as you'll see in a second, this tool, it governs the distance from the eyes, from, I guess you could say, the length of the part, because these pins are fixed. And so this is really a very simple and crude way to prove whether or not basically your part is going to work inside the finished product. So what I do is I put my wire in between these 4 pins like this, and it holds it in place. And then I take my finger, just really simple here, and I pull back until this pin fits inside. I go down a little bit further here. And that pin fits inside just like that, and that holds that and creates a back kink here. Then I take my handle, which I have a center hole that I slide onto my, I guess you can call my mandrel, and it has another pin which, when it goes around, it holds onto the wire. So my hands are kind of blocking the view right now, but as it comes around, it hits the other pin, and it creates that shape right there. And then on the other side I do the exact same thing. And then in order to get these pins are going to have tension on them now. So usually I use pliers, but I'll just use the cutters I have right by me right now. And then now I have this part, and in the finished product, when I actually made it on the 4 slide, that tail, I guess you would call it, was pushed in, and therefore it kind of it eliminated the problem of parts getting tangled up with each other really badly. But this was enough to prove the concept, and it's a simple way if you want to make special sinker eyes, and you don't want to make big time tooling, the quantities aren't very high. It's an easy way of basically proving a wire form before you actually go ahead and make tooling. And if it doesn't work the first time, you can take a measurement on your parts and change where your pins are at. You can change pin diameters. If you need to make the eye larger, you can do whatever you want. It's really simple. Just take an old piece of 1/4" steel, and these end holes here, it's kind of important that they at least for this particular part, that the hole is actually a little bit oversized so that the pin can slide in and out. And these ones here have to be a little bit undersized or tight holes, which I ream them all with small reamers just to make sure that they wouldn't slide out of the way. But this particular one I wanted to move in and out on both sides. And I had 2 different sizes, as you can see. But this worked, and we ended up making 30,000 of each part.